Should you buy a house in Baton Rouge? Hi, my name is Shawn. I'm a realtor here in the greater Baton Rouge area. In today's video, we're going to be going over a few factors to consider when buying a house in Baton Rouge. Of course, as a realtor here, I love working with clients that I meet from YouTube or social media in general. So if you would like some more information about the housing market or about possibly buying or selling, feel free to reach out. I'll have all my contact info in the description down below. Let's jump into the video. So let's take a look at the real estate market here in Baton Rouge. So as of making this video, the latest data that we can really access is July of 2023, and the median sales price here in Baton Rouge was at $249,600. In July of 2023, we had 482 new listings, which has been on a steady decline since 2021. As far as homes on the market, we had 1,090 homes for sale in July of 2023. We had 316 homes pending. We had 375 homes sold in July, and that has been on a steady decrease as well. And the median days on market in July was sitting at 13. So how do I interpret this? So pending sales and closed sales usually go hand in hand. So those have been steadily on the decrease, which tells us that buyers aren't buying as fast as they were in years previous. Now, the years that we're comparing it to are 2021 and 2022, which had historically low interest rates. Right now, there are more buyers sitting on the sidelines waiting for interest rates to drop. Whether that's going to happen or when it's going to happen, who knows? But that's kind of what's happening right now. As far as new listings, we also are seeing a steady decrease since 2021. A lot of people are holding on to those interest rates that they got. If you're sitting at a 3% interest rate, a lot of people are just going to hold on to those and not sell. So we're seeing less people put their homes on the market unless they absolutely have to. Now, some good news for buyers is that we have more homes on the market than years previous, and the days on market are a little bit longer. Why is that good? Well, first, since there's more homes on the market, then we're seeing buyers with more choice. They don't have to pick through something they kind of like. They really have more of a choice. And with the days on market being higher, buyers don't necessarily have to jump at something unless, of course, it is in a very competitive area. Now, the big thing is the sales price. So let's talk a little bit about that. We are looking at a decrease since 2022, but it has been an increase since 2021. And this median sales price that we are at, which has appreciated since 2021 overall, is much lower than the national average. The national sales price of a home sits in the 400s, so it's significantly easier to buy a home here. Now keep in mind, it's also very area dependent because you can easily find $400,000 homes here, and maybe your taste isn't really sitting at the 250s, but the point is it's easier to find a home here. Now there are some important benefits to owning a home here in Baton Rouge, so let's go over a few of them. So piggybacking off my previous point, Baton Rouge has seen appreciation in the area, and more specifically certain areas like the Garden District and Mid-City has seen insane growth. Not only are we seeing appreciation in Baton Rouge, but the greater Baton Rouge area in general. So areas like Prairieville, Gonzales, and Zachary are growing as well. Besides building equity, there are some tax benefits that you can take advantage of, like our homestead tax exemption. The homestead tax exemption exists for owner occupants, and it's pretty much there to allow a homeowner to not pay taxes on the first $75,000 of the property's value. Typically, homeowners are able to save $750 to $800 annually. Another thing to keep in mind is that our property taxes here in Baton Rouge are lower than the rest of the country, but they are on the higher side for the state of Louisiana, so definitely something to keep in mind. Now let's talk a little bit about some areas, because of course if you're buying a home here, you do have to pick an area that fits your needs. Neighborhoods near LSU like South Downs is close to lots of shopping, you're close to the overpass, that can be a really great option. Mid-City Baton Rouge obviously has some great spots, whether you're living in Capitol Heights or the Garden District. They have lots of thrift stores, some of the best restaurants in the city, and it's more walkable as well. And downtown, whether it's Spanish Town or Beauregard Town, you're going to be able to find lots of things to do as well, great restaurants, and a little bit more of a nightlife. Something to keep in mind is that these neighborhoods do generally have older homes, whether they're built in the 30s or the 40s or 50s. They do have older homes. Some of them are new construction, but just something to keep in mind as you're starting your home journey. If you're looking for more suburban living, areas like Shenandoah and Old Jefferson may be better spots because you're a little bit away from the center of the city. If you're looking for more luxury homes, Lexington Estates and U Club are both very, very popular here in Baton Rouge. Now, if you're not too concerned about a single family home and you're looking for more of a town home or a condo, they do have plenty of these in Baton Rouge, especially near LSU. Now, something to keep in mind is the closer you are to LSU, the more likely, if you're getting a townhouse or a condo, is that you're going to be near a lot of students that go to LSU. So definitely something to keep in mind. Now, a lot of people look in Baton Rouge for potential small multifamily homes like duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. Unfortunately, they're not super common here. They definitely exist. They're just not as common as you would see in New Orleans. Now let's talk a little bit about the weather and climate and what to consider when buying a home. Now, typically, whenever buying a home in Louisiana, you have to consider that Louisiana can get really hot. Having a strong HVAC or HVAC unit is really important. So if you're buying a home with an older unit, or the unit looks really just not so great, obviously consider asking them for some concessions or potentially asking for a cleanup or tune-up before closing. Now, because Baton Rouge is where it is, it's in South Louisiana, and we have a warmer and wetter climate, we do also see termites. Now, a lot of government loans do require you to get a wood destroying insect report before closing, also known as a WDIR. This is just to ensure that there are no wood destroying insects in the home or any activity of the sort. A lot of people do get termite coverage whenever they buy a home, just so that way they have a little added security to protect the home during termite season, which is around July and hurricane season. And speaking of hurricane season, let's talk a little bit about that too. Now, during hurricane season, we do see some issues in and around the greater Baton Rouge area as far as flooding. Before you buy your home, definitely check to see if your home is in a flood X or a flood AE zone, which are two of the most common ones here in Baton Rouge. In a flood X zone, flood insurance is not required to close on the home, but in a flood AE zone, it is required. And this is if you're going to go through traditional mortgage lending versus if you're just going to pay cash on the home. A flood X zone means that there is a 1% to 0.2% annual chance of flooding to occur in the home. If your house is in a flood AE zone, that means that you will have a 1% chance annually of flooding and a 26% chance of flooding over a 30-year period, which is the typical mortgage period for home buyers. Now, in my experience, I've seen homes that are in flood AE zones that never flood and homes that are in flood X zones that have flooded. So it really just depends on the home you buy and the area. Well, Baton Rouge, what do you think? Buying a home can be a very rewarding experience. There's so many benefits to it, but obviously whenever you're trying to make that decision, it can be somewhat stressful and sometimes you don't know what to think. So I always recommend talking with a realtor, talking with a lender, and getting some really good support and some ideas to help you make the best decision. If you would like to consider buying a home, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help in any way. And if you bought a house in the greater Baton Rouge area, how was the experience? Was it good or bad? Leave your comments and thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video informative or helpful in any way, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.